So here again a demonstration of the model that I've been showing in the previous uploads. Now I'm going to show some examples of immovable and modeling a vacuum. So here I'm copying, pasting an object, and now I'm going to make it truly immovable. Now when the sequence of events is started, there is no motion, nothing happens until the green dissolved material evaporates and there's a slight movement until it meets the immovable object. Now I'll change the location of the immovable object and the reference frame will briefly be in motion. Again, changing the location of the immovable object. Now placing the immovable object on the reference frame, connecting it to it, effectively making it immovable. Now removing only the immovable object. Now I'm removing the object's tendency towards being stationary, not immovable, the dampening, simulating vacuum conditions. I've slowed this down so you can clearly see the objects all just remain uniform. Now I'll redo it with one change only, placing an immovable object back within the reference frame. Again, there's only a slight motion when the dissolved material dissolves, and the reference frame is briefly in motion until contacting the immovable object. Now moving the immovable object to allow the reference frame to gain some momentum until it reaches the immovable object. The objects briefly put into motion continue in the simulated vacuum. Now with no immovability, a uniform motion, and in a simulated vacuum. Again, placing an immovable object and connecting it to the reference frame, making the whole system immovable. Now increasing the object's tendency to want to be stationary, the dampening, not immovable, except for this single object, which will be 100% dampened, effectively making it immovable. So I don't need this immovable block, and I can place it over here. Now when the timer starts, again nothing happens until the supports go, and then it comes in contact with the immovable object. Now if we change the dampening back to 99 like all the rest of them, it now just behaves as, say, a block of wood. It has a great tendency towards wanting to be stationary, not immovable. Now changing the tendency towards stationary, the dampening, to 30%. This may make the object behave more like a leaf, a twig. Now if we change it to 10, the object will behave more like, say, a feather. We'll make it immovable by placing an immovable object within the reference frame. Now we'll simply just take the immovability out of the equation. And now the objects appear to fall slower, like a feather. Now, near vacuum as a percentage of 1. When the motion stops, it all goes to custard. Again, putting it at 0, returning the objects to a vacuum condition. Everything remains uniform. When in motion, make no other change except make the reference frame immovable by placing an immovable object in it. Nothing's going anywhere. The supports go, nothing's going anywhere. Nothing is happening if it's immovable.